Yeah.
I had a semi-bad day, but it got really better towards the end.
Hey, man, we're here for you.
And so I was supposed to take a test this morning, right? Like, I got up early, like I was ready for it.
So you had a bad day.
No, so here. Oh, nice. Nice Chris Evans me. Topical.
I was gonna go right into the song, but I know
I was gonna do that, right? But I couldn't get my leg in through the other armhole.
Nice.
I mean, this might get an interest out of Jazz, but look at this. Hold up.
Well, you messed up my Discord, my
The
OBS
camera just
overlay.
like freaked out.
Yeah, your camera
Did I
decided
kill
to.
it? I might have killed not only me,
my
but
OBS overlay. How dare you?
Okay.
I worked so hard
I guess
for
not.
this. I worked hard for this view, man.
Craig replaced Ash.
Yeah. Look how broken this shit looks now. You guys can't see it yet, but you will.
Dude, don't move the camera. Discord will hate everything about it.
You're gonna have to fucking leave the call, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. Fucking restart Discord.
We're doing the podcast without you.
Yeah, apparently, dude, I moved my camera like half of because I was gonna show you the posters behind my desk, and no, dude, the computer did not like that.
You fucked up, buddy.
Now my camera won't show up at all.
This is gonna be like a bloopers video. This is episode 4.5.
Behind the scenes of trying to record episode 5, delayed by like 4 days. Also,
my mic's dead. Or
she was also
one of those
dead. Your headset's fine. Your camera's dead.
My camera's dead. That's what I meant.
She had one of those. She was one of those girls that had like string lights all around and shit. So when like the sun went down, like she turned those lights on, and I was like, yes, a heartbreaker indeed.
The sun went down and your pants came off.
It's just like these aren't rip-off.
Okay, there we go. Jesus,
but they're rip-off now,
right?
At the moment that I talked about taking my pants off, that's when Ashten comes back in. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
What was that? Highschool and Slime, right?
Yep.
And I was like, these are kind of dope. I want to watch them again. So I was like, I'm done with this podcast. End, bed.
Did you run?
No, that is like dolphin dive. Like,
dolphin dive, like, he says.
My bed. You can see my bed in the corner.
You just roll out of the chair into the bed.
So, I think we have officially started. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce everyone, and as well as the podcast. Welcome everybody. This is 2Tap Anime. I am your host Ashten. This is Kenny and Jazz, my co-hosts. They want to go ahead and say hi.
So in the future, point down for me and point to
down
your right. Left,
for me, it's Kenny
left.
Ash.
Yeah.
This is what it's like.
No. Because in OBS, I have Ashten in the top left, Jazz in the top right, me under Ashten, and then like the name and the episode.
Okay. Kenny, tell me how to point to you guys. Is this you?
I'm bottom left.
Okay, so this is you.
That's me. Yes, correct.
Dope.
Kenny.
Yes.
And Ash.
Yes, perfect.
Amazing.
We're doing it.
Kenny's above me and Jazz is to my top right, but for Kenny's OBS, I think like you said it was like down here, and
I'm below you, Ashten, and
Jazz is to my bottom.
To your left, I think.
Okay, gotcha. Well,
yeah. Because I think because like for like us, we're other way Ashten.
Right.
There you go. Boom. Let's go.
Oh my goodness, this is great. I'm already having a good time.
Video direction, video production. We are leveling up. We have.
All right, guys. Welcome to 2Tap, where we give our initial impressions on new and hot anime.
All right, Jazz has officially given his intro, so I know that means we need to start. So we are going to be talking about the God of Highschool as well as My Next Life as a Villainess.
For like half the episode, the other half.
Yes. The other half is literally going to be all about last week's episodes in the continuation.
The continuation segment's about to be fucking nuts.
Oh yeah, no, because we are all officially caught up on
Rent a Girlfriend,
Rent a Girlfriend.
and me and Jazz are caught up on Snafu.
Oh,
Snafu
Snafu, yes.
I'm not saying it's bad or good. I didn't connect it because I spent all of my time with Rent a Girlfriend, and so yeah.
At least we'll have a lot to say about Rent a Girlfriend.
Yeah, spoiler alert for the end of this episode, obviously for that, but also that's mainly what we're going to be talking about this episode, just because so much happened with. So as of the recording date, we're on episode 10 of Rent a Girlfriend, I believe. Is that correct? Yeah, episode 10.
10 was just the karaoke one.
Gotcha.
Like
now,
the girl works with them.
Let's go ahead.
Kenny.
That was vague. That was vague. The girl. Okay. That could be any girl. You don't know which girl.
It's his sister.
Oh my god. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the first one. I guess we can go ahead and start with My Life as a Villainess, I think.
Yeah, My Next Life as a Villainess.
Yeah, I think we can start with that one.
Lead to Doom.
Yes.
Look, I just want to say this is a lot better than I thought it was gonna be.
Yes.
Yes. This shit was so much better than I thought it was
started.
Gonna be.
For the people who didn't watch last week or don't know what this anime is about, we'll go ahead and give a quick readout of the synopsis. That way they can kind of get familiar as to what we're talking about. So, wealthy heiress Katarina Kless is hit in the head with a rock and recovers the memory of her past life. It turns out that the world she lives in is the world of the game Fortune Lover, an otome game where she is obsessed with in her past life. But she's been cast as a villain character who tries to foil the protagonist's romances. The best ending the game has for Katarina is exile, and the worst is death. She'll have to find a way to avoid triggering the flags of doom and making her own happy future. This misunderstanding-based screwball love comedy now begins. So, first off, I'm going to agree with you guys. I was expecting a lot worse from this, and genuinely had like a good 2 episodes. But I'm gonna go ahead and let Jazz go first, or Kenny, whoever wants to go first.
We usually go Jazz first.
Yeah, we'll go with Jazz then. Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead and give my part. So I'm in agreement with what you guys said. Like it's a lot better than what I thought it was gonna be. So as you know, I follow Crunchyroll on YouTube, so I get clips of like all the different animes that are ongoing. It's not like I go out of my way to watch it, right? It's like it's there, and I like their clips, so it just comes up even before we do this. Even before we started this podcast, I catch clips of all of these shows.
Yeah,
and so I had already known a little bit about it before going in, and I expected funny moments because I've seen some of those. I wasn't expecting what they gave. Something I'm noticing in new anime is that they like to take what's traditional and then go opposite of that. And so going into this show, she is not the main character. Now, granted, she's the protagonist of the show. She's not the main character of her own story. She starts off as the bad guy, and she knows that no matter what she does, it's going to end up badly. So what she's trying to do is alter the story. And I think that's a really cool take, right? That's putting it briefly. 100%. But they got really creative with it. Like this whole taking a different perspective. I like what they're doing with new anime. And I'm gonna go ahead and preface everything I just said with something else. I think the more that we watch these animes, the more open we are to this new style. Now, that could be a good or bad thing. So say like to put that in terms of American cartoons, I think today's cartoons are terrible as compared to our cartoons. But the more you watch like the newer stuff, I think the more tolerable we will be of those. So looking at it that way, that's potentially bad. But taking this back into the anime sense, if we had not been doing this podcast, I don't think I would enjoy this show. But because we've been watching anime, this show is hilarious. Like they do a lot of cool things.
I'm gonna rebuttal you because no. If I would have, because if I would have stumbled upon this and watched this on my own, like assuming I thought this was interesting enough for me to watch, I would have enjoyed it because it's literally like the kind of shit that I enjoy. Right? Okay. It's just it's like a silly, fun kind of romantic show, right? It's like so I just there's elements of romance, right? There's elements of romance. it hasn't fleshed out anything. But
most of the characters haven't been introduced yet because
yeah.
we've only seen 2 episodes, right? But I have a feeling because it's based off of like a romantic like
it's a dating sim game.
it's a dating sim game, right? The like the world that she's in. So when it gets to when she gets to those major flags and all those characters are introduced, I feel like it's going to be heavily more romance. I feel like they're building up to it.
Like the show so far is them as kids, but we know at some point they're gonna be at least teenagers or adults. Yeah,
there's gonna be a time skip.
Yeah, they're gonna get older, but right now as kids, there's not much romance. No,
right.
But when they're older, we'll probably see some.
But something to keep in mind though is the fact that her whole life is like laid out ahead of her. So what she's trying to do is avoid that outcome as much as possible. So it makes you think, right? Is there really going to be romance, at least from her side? I know the other characters may fall in love or whatever, and we might get a taste of that. But from her side, she's always going to be thinking about how she's trying to not die. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. The romance would probably be like the subplot of it.
I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance.
I also agree with Kenny. I think that there might be a chance just because like the nature of the way that the show has gone out for these 2 episodes, right? Like things have definitely not gone her way, even if she's like tried really hard to make them go her way, right? And I have a feeling that based off of this universe and the world or whatever, she's probably going to end up falling for one of these guys, and then that's going to end up like throwing another wrench in the scenario. I mean, that's just a guess. It's an assumption. I don't know.
So I had that kind of like in the back of my mind, and I think I wrote it down, which was like she's probably doing a really good job of like right now laying down the groundwork of not dying randomly in the future. But then something happens and throws a wrench in it, and then she just like inadvertently gets herself right back on the path of
yeah.
And so
like That's So Raven scenario.
Yeah, in a sense, yeah.
I think that's a really good comparison for like Western audiences. Yeah. It's literally That's So Raven anime.
In a sense, like I feel like everything's working well. Then suddenly she's just like something happens, right? It may not even be in her control, but like I expect it to happen. And honestly, I expect it to happen in a way that's gonna make me laugh. Like I don't this like this isn't the funniest show I've ever seen, right? It's not like the funniest show, but it is funny. It does land its punches. Yeah, it does land its punches. And like I feel like when they do the big whatever that's gonna come down the road in the show, it's gonna land. I do believe that. It's gonna be I think it's enjoyable.
Like, so go ahead and keep finishing, Jazz.
Along with what Kenny's saying, I'm not completely invested in the show, but I am going to continue it because I think that this show's outcome will be satisfying. So I'm gonna continue it. Despite all the things that I said, I haven't said like negative things about it because I don't feel negatively about it. It's a little silly, and it's a show I wouldn't go out of my way to watch. But at the same time, I feel like if I continue it, I will be satisfied. And so I'm curious as to see how they go about it.
Yeah. There's no high tension so far that we know of. There's no like weird evil bad guy type of thing. It's like she is the bad guy, but she's trying to correct the potential of dying.
And so like that, and everyone dies.
Yeah, the current outcome of her just dying because of that's how the game is, right? Like that's what she's trying to prevent. That's the bad guy. But it's funny to see how she like goes about these adventures.
So I think to kind of follow up with Jazz, nothing too like special about it, right? But I do want to agree with you. Like I am noticing a trend because anime has been out for a while now, right? So like these stereotypical tropes have kind of been set in stone, right? Mm-hmm. And I think they are very well aware of that, right? So in a way it works out because they know like, okay, they're expecting this. We know that they're expecting this, so let's not do that. And they will just inadvertently swap things. So like in your head, you kind of have a weird kind of like we're in a weird way, we're like the main character, right? In a sense of like we have a roadmap of like how things are supposed to go, and then like they will just whoop like completely subvert expectations and just go a completely different way, and you're like, wait, what? Oh, wait. It doesn't. It catches you off guard, and then it, in a weird way, like it attracts you, even though the event doesn't necessarily have to be super like interesting, right? It can just be something, super mundane or stupid, but because it's not what we're used to, it makes it more interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, something that I did pick up, and I was telling Kenny this when we were trying to record last time. We had to push back our date for recording, but some conversation did slip up. We wanted to save most of it for the podcast, but the one conversation that Kenny and I did have, Jazz, was the fact that as this show is going on, this podcast really, I'm, at first I wasn't watching really anything, right? So I didn't really have like high stakes when I said, yeah, I'll continue it, right? Because I really didn't have anything better to do. So like my threshold for like continuing was pretty low, right? But now as these shows are kind of going on and these episodes are coming out, I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I have to kind of like step back, right? Because now it's starting to like turn into like this whole thing, like where I'm shopping at a store and I'm like, oh, I can get this. I can get, oh no, wait,
shopping
no,
cart is full now.
Like I gotta put some
the
stuff
way
back. I can't
yeah,
do
the way
this,
my bank account is set up, I can only watch this show and not that show.
Right. So like, let's, for example, not Peter Grill, Woodpecker's Detective is nice. Kind of just like threw that in. I was like, man, I really want no.
So you've been watching Peter Grill, huh? You just fucking outed yourself, son.
I had a Freudian slip, all right? Apparently my brain really wants to watch it now. But what I meant to say, I think what ended up happening was I was really interested, and nothing bad against Woodpecker, right? I had a really good time watching it. However, the pacing was super slow, and the shows that we were watching compared to it and continuing, right? They just pulled me in way more, and by like factor of that, that just completely got put on the back burner. I was, we had some. The past few weeks have been pretty stacked. Let's just be real here. Let's just be completely honest with like how the episodes and shows that we've been watching. These weeks have been stacked. So keep in mind, Woodpeckers is still good. I totally recommend that you guys can watch it. I still don't know too much about it, right? Because I'm still only a few episodes in, but because like the severity of some of these shows that are swinging in and coming in like with these drawings, I'm like, you know what? I'm for example, Rent a Girlfriend. I wasn't expecting to get as invested as I was, but I was just like, man, I got to go all in now. Especially after last week. You guys were like talking so much about it, and I was like, wait, what? And you didn't really spoil too much. I mean, you did, but at the same time you didn't. And I was just like, they just pulled me more even into it. I was just like, oh crap, I gotta watch this now. So this is an interesting like conundrum to me now, right? Because it's forcing me to be more critical with the shows that I watch. Now that threshold, right, of yeah, I want to continue this, right? For example, like this show in general, right? Like I want to continue it. However, I'm gonna say no because my backlist of anime, these animes are just swinging too hard, and I could be spending more time watching the other ones rather than this one.
Yeah,
and I feel bad like about that. But I feel like this is definitely one that I'm going to come back to, maybe eventually, right?
Yeah,
but
maybe.
I do want to preface that. And I have a bad habit of doing that, of saying like what I'm going to do or continue or not already before we even do that segment. But anyway, the high points and low points, the comedy it hits in certain areas. Like it's not like anything super crazy or anything like that, but it does get a couple of laughs. It's one of those really relaxed and you can kind of turn your brain off and watch and still enjoy it. And I think the biggest pull is the, like we said, subverting your expectations, but also subverting the main character's expectations, because she has this route of like, okay, well, this kid locked himself up in a room because I bully him. Well, I'm just not going to bully him. I'm actually going to do the opposite. I'm going to be like super loving to him. And then he is still inadvertently, by her being nice, still he ends up locking himself in a room or something, right? And you're like, oh crap, right? It's situations like that. Like fate always ends up having a way to like keep hitting these like red flag zones in the story for her, like having a bad end. And I think that's really interesting. I feel like if you don't have that crazy, if you're caught up with your anime lists, right, and this is definitely one that I'd give a shot. Intro and outro, nothing to sing praises about. You know what it does remind me of? Mind you, I haven't watched it yet, but it definitely, like the art style and like the regal feel is giving me vibes of like Host Club.
I never watched that.
I've never watched.
You guys never watched Host Club?
I've never watched Host Club.
You guys never watched Host Club?
I've seen one episode.
You guys never watched Host Club?
Here's the crazy thing about Host
It's
Club.
so old, it might come back as a remake, like fucking Fruit Basket.
Oh yeah. So the thing about Host Club is that it's such a phenomenon in the anime community that, in a weird way, even though you haven't watched it, you've watched it. Does that make sense?
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's like an Evangelion, or it's like a Full Metal, right? You don't need to watch Full Metal to look at the dog and the girl next to each other and already be like, right? You don't need to know that. So everyone knows the Ouran Host Club intro because all the the shoujo girls were just like kiss, fall in love, like whether you wanted to like be into it or not, right? So. But the art style was giving me that vibe, as well as like the whole regal feel, even though it might have absolutely nothing to do with the plot or anything like that, right? But I was getting like Host Club like vibes from it, especially with like the rosy atmosphere, like the way that some of the characters were drawn, and
I can see that,
et cetera.
I'm not gonna lie, dude. I remember being in fucking middle school and just like
it was one of the few
all these. Oh no! Like all these girls were like watching anime and shit, but they were watching like the shoujo stuff.
Oh yeah.
And that's how I like watched a shit ton of them. Unlike some of them are like, yeah, Host Club, kind of cool. Vampire Night, I wish I wouldn't have watched it.
RIP to all the Vampire Night fans.
Look, I'm indiscriminate, baby. JoJo's fans, out of here. Vampire Night fans, out of here.
Yeah, your host is a JoJo's fan.
Yeah, man.
Anyway,
get the fuck out like you were at the fucking. I hope your camera breaks again midway through this.
All right, Kenny, go ahead. Say what you want about
look, man,
my life as a villainous.
Look. We touched on all of it. I didn't have a lot of notes, but the main takeaway that anyone should get from this is like of the front, especially from the first 2 episodes, since this is like the whole premise of the damn podcast, right? Like. There isn't too much going on, but you already understand what the plot is, like what the general conflict is, right? We watched like the Misfit of Demon King Academy, and in the first 2 episodes, we were like, okay, what's the point, right?
Yeah,
like,
we were so all over the place.
Yeah, we're like, what's going on, right? But this one, it's like really quick and concise, like, hey, this person is reincarnated in a video game, and she's trying not to die. It's simple.
That's it. Like that's what we need to do.
It's got. I think the characters that they've introduced so far are really like they mesh well. The main character is just like this really like really silly, really physical type of girl, right? Like in the sense that she likes to farm and climb trees and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's like this like princess, quote unquote, or whatever, like high society girl, but she's like also like more like she's super rough around the edges, so to speak.
Right.
Like if you met a girl like that like today, you'd be like, yeah, she's pretty cool. Yeah, she climbs trees and shit. Yeah, I bet she's
not like most girls.
No. I'm not gonna say that. I hate when people say that because if I said I'm not like other dudes, a girl's just gonna roll her eyes and be like, what do you mean?
I mean, that was just a joke because she actually really isn't like most girls, I would say. I mean,
no, I avoid saying shit like that. Like, I think
she's like most princesses. We can say that.
She gives very Princess Daisy vibes. Let's put it that way.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Daisy.
Yeah. She's kind of a tomboy. Let's put it that way.
Is Daisy even a princess?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Dude, I don't fucking know.
I think I'm pretty sure she's classified as Princess Daisy.
We've never seen her kingdom.
She wears a dress.
Yeah,
she wears a crown.
She is classified as Princess Daisy.
Look, I can go downstairs right now, and if one of my little cousins is wearing a dress and a crown, we're not gonna call her baby. We're gonna call her princess. The fuck?
There you go.
Yeah, man. Anybody can be a princess. You just need a dress and a tiara. That's it.
Them's the rules.
Gloves optional.
As per your strikers.
Yeah. So
There's one thing you learned about what, Jazz?
I said if there's one thing I learned about from Wreck-It Ralph is that anyone can be a princess.
There you go. There you go. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go around the room. I already said mine, but I personally, because of the stack lineup that we had, I don't think I'm going to be continuing it, but it might be one that I'll probably potentially come back to. That shouldn't discourage you from watching it. I think it's going to be pretty interesting.
Before
Jazz?
we complete this whole thing, oh yeah, I'm going to continue it. I said that already, but along with what you said with the whole shopping cart being full and Woodpecker Detective, that was week 1, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah, that was week 1.
Literally week 1.
Even after everything we watched, I just want to say about Woodpecker Detective, the art is by far the best. And as well as the music, the art and the music in that show just tops everything that we've watched so far.
Yeah,
but I am in agreement that it was too slow paced to continue, unfortunately. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there because I am in agreement with what you're saying. As we are collecting this shopping cart of anime, it's harder to say that we will continue something, you know?
It was something that we kind of predicted with episode 0, right? Like my like ceiling, right, or my threshold for anime and watching and enjoying it is pretty low, and it still is, right? And I was just like, oh yeah, I'll continue that. I'm gonna continue it. Let's go. Like
Right.
it really was just add to cart, add to cart, add to cart, and then I got the bill, and I was like, oh, okay, hold on, we need to put some things back. Let's. I can't.
All right. So since we're about to move on, I'm gonna say for me, I too well, I'll keep it like in the basket, just like Woodpecker. Like I'm gonna keep it in the basket. Like I know in my head that I want to revisit this show, but there's other shit that I'm watching right now that is it just takes priority right now.
Gotcha.
So I think we're all in agreement unanimously that it's not any of our favorite anime, right? But at the same time, we want to give it a chance.
It's not bad.
Yeah. I definitely.
This is definitely a recommend.
I definitely want to see how it unfolds. I think what I'm just gonna do is like
just read the synopsis.
Like give it a buffer of episodes. I don't know how many episodes are out right now, but
I think there's 12. There's 12 currently.
All right, so that's close to a full season, if not the full season. So
it might be
eventually, because I'll do the same with Woodpecker, because I know Woodpecker doesn't have 12 right now, but I'll revisit it, when the season's completed, if it's not already, and then give it a chance. Then I'll just like binge it, but until then, I'll be watching other stuff or doing other stuff.
What else is there? Let's see here. We have. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next segment. Actually, I'm going to leave a potential spot right here for maybe an ad break. Maybe not. I might add it here. So yeah.
Crunchyroll.
Please sponsor us. Okay. Not a single ad can stand up to this.
Hey guys, this episode is sponsored by Anchor.fm.
You don't know what that is?
You do now.
Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. In fact, we use it for this one.
They let you record and edit with many helpful tools right from your computer and phone.
Personally, I like that Anchor distributes your podcast to all the big streaming platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and even Google Podcasts.
So you can leave all the hard work to them and have more time to catch up with the waifus.
Lastly, for all you business tycoons out there, you can make money from your own podcast.
It's all you need to get started making it in one place.
So grab your friends and download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
That is ANCHOR.FM. Anchor FM. All right, let's go right back into it for segment number 2. We have The God of High School. Now, for you guys who don't know about the show and the synopsis, I'm going to go ahead and read that out for you guys right now. Let's see here. Jin Mori has proclaimed himself as the strongest high schooler. His life changes when he's invited to participate in the God of High School, a tournament to determine the strongest high schooler of all. He's told that if he wins, any wish he makes will be granted. All the participants are powerful contenders who fight their hardest for their own wishes. What awaits them at the end of the tournament, a chaotic battle between unbelievably strong high school students, is about to begin. So, first off, I was planning on watching this regardless of the podcast or anything, because I think just as I was starting it or just before I started it, this podcast was advertised literally everywhere. It was just even if you had like the remote like hinge of being an anime fan, right, you heard about this. Like it was just everywhere because it was this huge crossover event from Crunchyroll and Webtoons, right?
Yeah, Webtoon.
So I'm not too big a fan of Webtoons. I mean, I haven't really given too big of a shot to like look and read, right? But I mean,
It's just essentially online manga, is
yeah.
what it is. Like,
I mean, user created,
yeah.
and yeah, but this was a huge deal. I mean, granted, if you go to Crunchyroll right now, I mean, it's an original. Like, it was the lineup of the originals that they were starting, right? So they had Tower of God, God of High School, and then they have one more. I don't remember the third one, but it's about to come out soon, or it's just starting.
There's more than just those three, actually.
Okay, so regardless, it's part of the like that little launch series or set. From my understanding, I'm not sure, but I mean, granted, like I said, it's everywhere on Crunchyroll, and that's the main site that we're using for this. So I was going to give this a shot regardless, and not to mention my love for tournament style, like genre fighting and whatnot. But I'm going to go ahead and give the mic to Jazz, and let's go ahead and see what he thought about the first 2 episodes.
I shouldn't take this one off the bat
because you are already caught up. So Kenny, do you want to go ahead and go first?
Sure. I do want to say, like, really quickly, I like the juxtaposition between the 2 shows that we watched this week.
Oh yeah, that was a huge jump.
They're really just serene, like soft, very, very pretty,
lovable.
My life as a villainess, or my next life as a villainess, and then on the other hand, this just straight up, like, we don't even know the plot of the show, but people are fighting in the highways.
These people are just like, it's in. Like, they just know like people are swinging at each other like minute 1.
Yeah, you dive right in. You know what's going on, or you know that it's going down. Like this isn't Naruto. This isn't fucking Bleach. It's like we're going action minute 1, baby. Like,
we know what you signed up for. Like, let's just get to it. Yeah. Like, let's no need for the formalities. You're here to see people punch people. Like, let's do it.
So the way it actually starts out though is like some dudes on an island or some shit, and then some dude like from halfway across the world just like telepathically squashes these motherfuckers on the island, and I was just like, I was very confused.
I double checked to see if I clicked on the right show. I'm not joking. So I remember it just has the most bizarro like opening, right? Like some businessman on a phone call, right? And they're all like, it's a stereotypical like, oh, I don't know, we gotta go higher on this profit margin, right? Like it's something stupid, right? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, like Kenny states before, these dudes just get squashed because the deal goes bad or something, and I'm just like, wait, what the?
Yeah, I was like, dude, what the fuck is this? I thought this was a martial arts fucking anime. What the fuck is this, huh? What is
I didn't sign up for Fire Festival, like part 2.
Yeah,
so
what the fuck?
I escaped out of the full screen and I checked. I was like, yeah, no, this is God of High School episode 1. Okay, and then like I went back into it.
I will say too, the intro is fucking nuts, dude. That shit went completely bananas. I was like in bed, just like all bundled up and shit, and then the intro hit. I'm like,
I'm immediately gonna rebuttal. So like for most of like the hardcore like intros and stuff, I'm usually a fan for them. But for this one, I don't know. It just didn't click. It didn't click for me.
Get them out.
I have to agree with Ash, and here's why.
Get out.
As someone who listens to EDM, that was very subpar. And the reason being is because
that's fair.
Asia really takes EDM in a different direction. It's not a bad thing, right? It's just not
our
audience, right? Americans not going to listen to Asian EDM because it's not our taste. That's the thing. And so as someone who listens,
you better put yourself in that bucket. I am an American that really likes that. All right. So, get out of here with that.
So I think Jazz has a bit more of a perspective on that because he does like listen to electronic EDM and
he's gatekeeping EDM. Don't let him influence you.
I don't think he's gatekeeping.
Like what you like.
You can like whatever you want, but personally, I didn't like it. I didn't think the intro was that good. I do want to say that I didn't.
Well, you're also a JoJo's fan.
There are bad JoJo's intros. I'm just saying.
I don't care. You like the show. I'm not saying that. I'm not talking about intros. I don't know any fucking JoJo's intros.
You know what's gonna be good? One week, whenever we get to the point where we're no longer on simulcast animes, I'm gonna throw a JoJo series.
I know you are. I know you are, and I'm ready to watch it because I've seen enough of it to where I'm like, I don't get it. I don't get the appeal. I don't. I really, really don't. Is it the art style?
No.
Is it the like there are funny little clips and moments that I've watched that are like, yeah, that shit's cool. But like in context, I'd feel like everything that leads up to that moment, I probably would not give a fuck about. I would probably be like,
okay,
Nani, you're approaching me? And I'd be like, oh, finally. I finally got to the good part.
I got to the good part. So right, to completely sidetrack. We're gonna get back to God of High School, but I'm gonna say this time and time again. I will rise like a phoenix from the ashes to defend JoJo's. Right?
Look.
Listen.
Anyways, here.
Let me say it. No, you
right,
already went on your
tangent.
I'm gonna go for it. Right?
Ahead.
Listen.
Go ahead.
Because JoJo's is timeless. Because not only do you watch the characters, seasons, and arcs. Fuck you. The character seasons and arcs transition. You also see Araki as a creator change his storytelling and evolve into better storytelling as time goes on. But not only that, I will say this again and again. I love shonen, but there's no risk involved in shonen anime. Friends are always going to be your friends, no matter how bad another friend will betray them. Friendship, power, or whatever is always going to win. There's no high stakes. Maybe one or two side characters will die, and that's it, right? Like, there's no real risk involved. JoJo's is not afraid to do that, and it is beautiful for that reason. It's got funny moments that'll make you laugh. So I will agree, sometimes the show will drag on, but for those really impactful moments that happen, it really does carry you through it. That's what I'm going to say about it, man. And
That's
not to mention,
remember, everyone that watches this shit or listens to it, it's okay to enjoy what you like. You can definitely like it.
100%. Doesn't mean it's for everybody.
It's not for everyone, but also you have to realize I enjoy shitting on a lot of things.
Yeah, that's just your mantra.
I just it's not to like be a dick or anything. It's just like I'll shit on my for example, real life example. The Houston Astros baseball team got caught like cheating, right? Ooh. And as a it's hard to be a childhood fan. As a childhood fan of the team, I will shit on the Houston Astros for that.
Oh yeah.
And I expect other people to do so.
Yeah, 100%. All right, we'll go back.
Have thick skin. Have thick skin. All right, God of High School.
If you want to dish, you gotta be able to take
Look. I do like tournament arcs, but this is just one big ass tournament. Like, it has interesting characters, but I don't give a fuck about anybody. Like, you got to give me some reason to like you other than you're a cool character, right? Like, I don't know anything about the main character or his homies that he met or anybody. Like, why should I feel bad about the Tai Chi dude getting whooped by that one dude, right? Like, him getting whooped was pretty cool. I was like, yeah, root for the bad guy. Fuck yeah, that guy seems like he's got the most presence about him or something. Like, why is his arms restrained? Why is he kicking ass, bro?
I'll say this though. This isn't to argue with you. It's just I guess to reemphasize what you're saying. That's part of the perks of pacing, right? You did mention that the show gets right into it. You don't have to wait a whole season to see some action. And part of that is you got to share this balance between storytelling and action. And so you don't know much about them because they're already fighting. That's how it is.
Right. It was pretty lit that they started out doing that, but I expected, at least for my taste, right, I expected them to kind of ease up on it and then be just a quick intro, like they allude to it, right? Like the dude got the main character got his ass kicked by this blonde corporate dude that invited him to the tournament. Why didn't they show that? Why didn't they show hey
and being
man,
invited.
I want you to be in my fighting tournament, and to do so, I have to test you out to make sure you're like good enough to go. And he's like, of course I'm good enough to go. I'm the best fighter in all of Korea, right? And then they fight, he gets his ass kicked. And then they have like a little flashback of like him like training and shit and whatever. And then I'm like, all right, I'm in. But I didn't do any of that. I'm just like,
I'm gonna let you keep going because I do agree with you. I do.
I'm just like,
I can give you the answer, but I'm not sure you want the answer.
We're gonna keep going.
Like, don't worry, because I'm really like it does look cool. It sounds cool. It's very cool looking, but it's not very deep. It's just a fucking beat 'em up, man. It's just Dynasty Warriors on my TV. I am button mashing for dear life, and I'm like, I won. I did nothing else. I turned my entire brain off. Like my brain is only on to read the subtitles, and like
you
for
don't
me,
even,
I'm just
you don't even really need. I don't even think you need them. I honestly don't.
Yeah,
think
what
you
subtitles?
I probably don't need the
I thoroughly believe you can watch the first 2 episodes of this like show without subtitles,
right,
and completely still get the full context and gist that everyone else who did watch it with them.
Right. I mean, sure, I guess he's making friends. That's cool. I mean, who doesn't like making friends? But like, you got to give me something like a little bit more, right? Like it was cool how it started. I did enjoy it, but like they went just like fucking pedal to the metal. They're just like
you're saying there's no substance.
Yeah, fuck that backstories, fuck anything else. We're going right into it, baby. Here's a free for all battle. Also, we have technology that heals you immediately, even if you get like a broken neck and shit. And I'm like, okay. But also there's like this super bad guy that can fucking squash fucking islands from half the globe away. So I'm like, dude, what's the point?
Yeah, I have so much to agree with you on this, man. So I'm gonna let you wrap up, and then I'm gonna hop right into
that was it. I really don't think I'm gonna watch more.
In with you, man. I'm diving in with you, man, because so listen, as the person who literally proclaimed himself as the main person in this group who loved tournament arcs and whatnot, this isn't a. But I don't want this to be a bad thing or me to change my efforts, but it's the one that I've enjoyed the least in terms of tournaments stuff. Granted, it's only been 2 episodes, but even still, I agree with Kenny. There was no substance in terms of character development type of main interest for us to root for people. It was really weird, right? Because the main character, the only thing that you know about him, right, is he likes to fight dudes, which generally a major shonen anime protagonist, male protagonist, that's what they want to do, is they want to fight people and get strong, aka just look at Goku, right? Now he also had a grandfather that died, or he cried about. I don't fucking know. There was a mini flashback about that for half a second. But I do want to say the character that we got the most backstory for in the first 2 episodes was a side character. It was the girl, the kendo artist, the girl with the wooden sword. We knew more about her than the main character.
Yeah, we did.
I just want to throw all that out there. You would think that setting up your show, you would want to have more interest and backstory for your main character going into it, right? Than somebody he met. That's a little odd to me. Not to mention the other I'm gonna call him he's Chad from Bleach, right? That dude that works at the convenience store. That's all we know about him. The dude punches really hard and he works at the convenience store. Don't remember his name. I don't know why I'm rooting for him. He literally just says, "Oh, why are you in this tournament? Money." And we're like,
shit, you and everybody else here. Goddamn, what separates you? Is your mom fucking dying of cancer? Great. Awesome. I'm in. I'm rooting for you.
They mentioned somebody in the hospital, I think, for him.
It doesn't matter.
But regardless, it's quick half-second images, even if it was. There's no substance for me to be like, okay, I need to pick somebody and root for. I'm gonna agree with you. The person that I ended up picking for and rooting for was the asshole, because at least he had something, right? Like, he kept having these little mini flashbacks of him being pathetic and stuff, and like meanwhile he's out on this main stage like locked up because he's so much of a threat to all these people apparently. And finally the dude starts kicking ass, and you're like, yeah, I cool. I guess I go for this guy because he's the one that has apparently the most character here. I don't know.
Also, this is one thing I have, like, I'm really nitpicky about when animation is reused, and in the intro, like the whole like battle royale scene,
Yeah.
like that's like in the intro just recolored, like literally the same, just recolored. And I like when I saw that, I was just like, wait, it's like the actual intro, like. Okay, that kind of sucks. It kind of ruins the whole
Kind of like, yeah,
whole sequence because like
the
I
bubble.
already watched it. I already seen it. Like, thanks. At least do what other anime do and put the fucking intro at the end, so that when I see that again, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I remember that was hype as hell. It was a battle royale. Everyone's just in a ring with 60 people, and they gotta fight to get to the prelims. I'm like, that's dope. Like, I mean, they had really cool concepts. They had really like cool fights, and they had everything that was set up there, right? But my major problem was that first step, right? Like that initial, like, why am I rooting for these people? Why should I care? I think, for instance, like one of my favorite tournament arcs, mind you, I hate this anime, especially just because of how just bad it gotten. But it was Fairy Tail, right? I really loved Fairy Tail. I was reading the manga for Fairy Tail, bro. Like, I was like highly invested into it.
Yeah.
Now, when they did the tournament arc for that was phenomenal, right? Because mind you, that was like maybe like halfway through the full series. You had time to develop.
That was right after the time skip, wasn't it?
It was just directly after the time skip.
Like they just reappeared, and they're like, "This is how we introduce ourselves back to the world." Like here's
this
the
is what we
fucking
did in the
tournament.
7 years. Like, right?
Yeah.
It's like Fairy Tail's gotten a bad name. These people come back. You know the backstories. You know their motivations. You know their powers. You know what they're gonna do. And then they come in and they have, because there's a time skip, there's a little hint of powers and stuff that you don't know, so they can throw in that element of surprise and stuff, right? Now, for me, I don't know these people. I don't know what they're involved. I don't know what their interests. I don't know what they hold dear. I don't know anything. There's no setup, and they just pull out stuff. And I would be more amazed if I knew them a little bit more and didn't know what they do. Because when this dude pulls out the twin spin kick taekwondo art, right? For me, I'm like, wow, But I feel like that was supposed to be like a pivotal moment, right? This dude pulled out this twin art, taekwondo spinning kick, right? But and he's been mainly using his legs to begin with, right? But since we hadn't had any like base level of like a attack or anything, we didn't, it wasn't special or anything. But yeah, am I gonna continue watching it? That's a good question. I'm gonna leave that for later. But I did like the animation. The fights were really cool. I gotta say that they did a really good job of making a guy that you really hate that you somehow root for. Like, this dude's like his own little Dio, right? He just comes out the bar and is immediately an asshole, and just like he rides that train to hell, and you're just like, okay, all right.
I think people need to realize that they make their bad guys too charismatic, that I just don't care for the hero, like, or the MC or whatever. Like,
yeah,
like either he's an anti-hero, which exudes charisma out the fucking wazoo, like fucking Misfit of Demon King. That guy's just like, he's on it, bro. He's cool as fuck. This guy over here, he looks cool. He does cool things, but I don't care for him. I don't even remember his name.
Last just picky thing. Jin has like an annoying as hell voice actor. Like, I'm not saying he's bad. Like, the voice that he picked for Jin, though, like, I don't like it. I don't like it. But
I don't have a thing against the voice. I just think
I was gonna say I didn't really notice anything special about his voice.
It's mainly when he's yelling. He, like, I don't know. It's mainly when he's yelling, and I don't know. It sets me. Everyone else seemed to fit perfectly, but for me, the MC, like, his voice, I don't know. It just kind of like pulled me out of it. I don't know why. I don't know what he was doing. I'm not saying he did a bad job or anything like that, but for some reason, he just pulled me out of it. Like I just didn't. I don't know. But anyway, go ahead, Kenny.
Also, are we sure all of these kids are high schoolers?
That's a good question.
If JoJo's are 17-year-olds, then yes, they're in middle school.
In middle school, these kids are actual infants. They're in elementary school. God of elementary school.
Wait. Okay. See, I didn't know the characters in JoJo's are supposed to be teenagers. I thought those are supposed to be fucking adults. So
most of them are grown adults. However, like Jotaro, the dude with the black hat that fights Dio, he's 17.
It's kind of weird.
Yeah, dude, the dude's stacked like a 35-year-old.
Yeah, I don't. Like, that's super weird. Like, yeah, there are some like 17-year-olds that are like,
I don't know if you guys have.
But not like that. Like, that looks weird.
Please tell me you've seen that beautiful image of like Terry Crews like without his shirt on. Like it was a picture from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and it was him walking in. It was like every Shonen male protagonist. I'm 17 years old. I'm a 17-year-old high school student. It's so good.
All right, let's go around the room. I think we're done with this discussion.
Jazz, you want to throw because
you've seen most of it.
Haven't said anything yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we left him for last because he's actually caught up on it.
So I hear what you guys are saying, and I get I understand it, right? But again, this comes back to the pacing. The reason why you don't know anything is because it hasn't gotten to it yet. It chose to give you the action. So let's take, for example, One Punch Man. That's a show that actually has no substance, but people love it because of the action. And so I think it took a lot from that. Now, God of High School does have substance. There's a lot of story that is told, but it prioritizes the action part of it because people love One Punch Man so much. And yeah, you guys just haven't gotten to it yet. I'm not saying that to like sway you or anything. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. But there's a lot more story behind it than you think there is. And everything you have questions about, all of that is explained. So say like the opening scene with the guys on the beach, that stuff is explained. The backstories of Jean Morty, who you know nothing about, that's explained. You know a lot about the Kendo girl because she's a main character. All of this gets explained, right? You don't have to like it, you don't have to watch it, but there's a lot more substance than you guys think there is.
Yeah, and I mean that's I have a feeling that that those answers were going to be, or those questions were going to be answered, right? Go ahead, Kenny.
The girl's the main character.
She is a main character, yes.
A main character or the main character?
She's a main character.
Jin's the main character.
There are.
I'm completely out, bro.
There are four actually. There are four main characters, but
I'm completely out. I don't.
Really?
I'm just like, there's nothing against the girl or anything. It's just like, it's just this show as a whole. I'm just like, I can't get into it.
I think
I can't. I really can't.
I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna give it a few more episodes, right? But I had a feeling it's going to answer those questions, right? I knew that was going to be answered eventually. That still doesn't take away from the fact that they could have gone full throttle into action, right? While also doing a point where they hook you in for the interest in rooting for the main character. I think that as a whole, it needs to be said that the hook that they have and the interest for these MCs in the first two episodes at least was done very poorly.
Like,
regardless of if they do them in the future, which, they could be really good, right? I just think that if you're gonna, potentially hook somebody, you gotta,
So like in the first episode, the whole gimmick of the battle royale, I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like right now, like everyone was confused. I was confused, but I was like,
even the characters inside the arena, they were like, wait,
right. Everybody was like super confused. Like, oh, wait, we're going right now. So like, as the first episode,
just punch each other, it went in. Like everyone was kind of
as the first episode,
do this, and these two dudes just like start swinging on it. Like, all right, that's it, we're going in.
Yeah, so like cool. As a first episode gimmick, I was like, yeah, I can buy this, right? But like for them to like not even just like, they kind of just roll over and just like, we're going straight into the tournament. And not only that, we're only going to show you one match of the tournament. We're just going to tell you that main character A beat side character, main character B beat side character, main character C
beat side character, cool bad guy is about to kick this lovable Tai Chi, peaceful pacifist motherfucker that should be airbending but isn't because
he's in the wrong anime.
Yeah, that's the wrong.
By the way, another conversation Kenny and I had was just how badass Monkey Atsu was in Avatar: The Last Airbender. Dude went out swinging, but keep going.
Also, because like it makes me realize more so. Well, not more so, but solidifies my thought behind it. Is that I'm having more fun going on tangents instead of talking about this show.
I feel like there was more substance in a tangent than there was in the first 2 episodes of the show.
Because I'm angry. You feel that.
You don't have to like it. In fact, if you don't like that, don't watch One Punch Man. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So here's the thing about One Punch Man, right?
Oh, we're gonna start talking about One Punch Man now. Okay, go ahead.
It's a gimmick that just I don't know. It hits, bro. It's one punch and it hits.
You know what you signed up for. No, but,
yeah, you know.
I mean, if you want to talk about no substance, all action, that's the show for it. So don't say it's a good thing there and a bad thing here.
No, but see, the thing is like that show isn't just action.
It's comedy and it hooked you in.
Yeah, it's got a good bit of comedy in it.
In the first 2 episodes, you get a good glimpse of Saitama as a character, more so than you do these 3 in God of High School, even though they're both full throttle.
What are you talking about?
I know more about Saitama. I mean, granted, I watched most of season 1.
You know that he used to have hair, now he's bald.
You know how he got his superpowers. You know, like what he was in it for. You know that he's like a humble mentor. You know, like
no, you don't learn any of that in the first 2 episodes. Don't even lie to me.
When did Genos comes in like episode 2, right?
Probably. I don't know.
So by that point, you know.
You don't know everything you just listed off. You don't know hardly any of that. You know he has an apprentice because of Genos, but that's it.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't. It's been a while since I watched One Punch, but I feel, I don't know. I think I agree with Kenny on that. I feel like in the first 2 episodes, but mind you, it's been a while, and I watched the entire first season, so my perspective might be warped on that.
All I know is I don't like God of High School. I'm not into it.
I'm gonna continue it. I'm gonna continue it.
I think I only laughed in the opening sequence, or not the opening sequence when the dude's riding his bike and like the lady's purse gets stolen. I think that's the only time I laughed in that show. And a show doesn't need to have comedy to be good, but for me, it needs to have comedy to keep me interested. Like that's like the easiest way to keep people hooked. Like I don't give a fuck about this show at all. So
I do have to say, regardless of like what I just said in terms of like negative effects, I still have that genuine love of tournaments, right? And the fighting and stuff that people in these characters can bring out. I'm gonna keep watching it, but I'm probably gonna do the same thing that I did with Demon King, right? In the sense that like in like the next like 2 or 3 episodes, like if it doesn't really kind of like pull me in or give me a reason to stay interested, right? Then I'll probably just back out. But for right now, it's not looking good, but I still want to keep going because I feel like something's there. I feel like something's there. They just haven't done it. They haven't gotten to it yet.
All right. Let's talk about good anime. All right.
Yeah, we can talk about.
So from last week, we watched Highschool and Slime. That time I got reincarnated as
ad break.
No, I don't think I think we only have one.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, go ahead.
No, I was just saying. I did watch both of these. I watched the first season of both of them.
I continued
because I hadn't started my new job yet, so I
started Slime,
literally days.
Haikyuu, and Rent a Girlfriend. Those are the 3 that I've really been keeping up with.
All right, so
I want to talk about those 3.
Let me speak on Slime real quick because I doubt you guys care. Slime is good. It doesn't go anywhere.
So I might just stop then at that point.
Like it introduces a lot of characters. It does have like good comedy, It has interesting action set pieces, but it just doesn't go anywhere. Like all the problems in the first season get resolved really easily, really
Oh, wow.
quickly. You don't know and by the end of the first season, you don't learn anything new about the dragon.
Oh, that's tragic. I want to
Yeah,
know. I want to know so much more about him. I hope.
right.
We got introduced to such a cool character in the first few episodes, and I'm sad that they didn't do anything with him.
Yeah, exactly. And like they keep hinting at it. They keep hinting at it. They keep hinting at it, but so far nothing. But it does have its cool moments. But like I said, it doesn't really go anywhere, not yet. And it kind of becomes like it does have a lot of like booby anime like aspects towards like the latter half, and I'm just like that kind of stuff pulls me out. I don't care for it. Like you can have cool and attractive girls in your show. You just don't have to sexualize them like
You don't
that.
need to be weird about it.
Unless we talk about a good show that does that, which is Rent a Girlfriend, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Since Haikyuu was also on the shows that we did last week, I also finished the first season of that.
Wow. I got 4 episodes in. My piece on Haikyuu is going to be very short. It's going to be very short.
Go ahead and
I'm going to keep going, but if it keeps going like this, I'm out. It's suffering from Your Lie in April syndrome with the inner monologue and flashbacks constantly. And it's annoying as shit.
Okay, that's fair.
It's you know what it is? It's you need to reach a 250 word count in your essay. You already completed it, and you still need 100 more words. So you're just trying to say the same thing over and over again in different ways. That's what it feels like to me in these inner monologues.
All right.
I'm sorry.
Let me tell you right now that Haikyuu is not that show. Slime was that show. That shit's like 24 episodes a season. I was like, what the fuck is this? Why is this still ongoing? Why haven't I seen the dragon again? You know, you see the dragon in 2 instances after you meet him. One, there's like you can see that like the dragon's power is like leaking out a little bit, but like all it is just like a little boom boom, and like you see the dragon's face, and that's it. And then the next time you see him is like in some bonus ass episode, and like it wasn't even funny. Like it was trying to be funny, but I was like, this is fucking stupid. I'm out. Get me out. I don't care.
I hate when they try to be funny and it's not.
Yeah, and that was that.
I feel like that hurts. That hurts a lot more.
That bonus episode was that. Like Slime could have been good. It had a lot of funny moments. It had a really good moment when the slime gains its human form. Like that was like one of the things I was looking forward to. Like when does he get his human form? And when he gets it, it's like, fuck, dude, that kind of sucks. I felt things there that I wasn't expecting to feel. And after that, it's like, okay, whatever. Don't.
Well, I'm still gonna try to get to a point in Slime where I stop, but I think that my main issue, like, I don't know, I'm still feeling that, right? Because like there was literally at one point, like I was interested. I'm not saying that I wasn't. Like the way that they had the hook with like the whole like they had set up like the freshmen, the new freshmen that are going to be joining, right? The ones that have like no stake in the little prelim, in the little prelims that they have, their little exhibition match, right?
Yeah.
But I understand that they needed to have set up a point where like, you know, the main character and the rival like have to like really start trusting each other. You know, at first they were doing it really well. They had the little funny moments and it was there, right? They kind of kept doing it and they kind of kept doing it. I'm like, all right, I feel like we've already, and then they started like getting to the point where like they were getting past that. And then they would somehow, for some reason, just kind of go back like 5 steps and then repeat those same 4 steps again of like gaining trust. And then for some stupid reason, they'd go back. You know what I mean? It was the inner monologue thing just bothers me. I mean, like now that I, you know, have gone through Your Lie in April and like watched it and I really liked it. And then I rewatched it again, and I was like, man, this is kind of unbearable in a weird way. Like, this shouldn't have been 24 episodes. And I don't think that whole little tournament arc that they had with the rivals and the you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're dragging it on. I feel like get to the point, man. Like, you've already set it up. You've already reached that point where like we're invested. There's no need to keep reiterating this. Like, I want you to win this, and I know that you guys like are hectic about not trusting each other. Fucking play the damn game. Like, I don't know, man. It was really hard. Yeah.
Before we like continue, I don't want to cut you off. I want you to keep your train of thought. I just want to throw this in real quick. Again, pacing. You said you didn't like the action without the storytelling. Now you're getting the other hand where you're getting the storytelling and you're lacking the action.
But like,
so
here's
you
the
can't
thing.
take both sides. And
No. I get where Ashton's coming from because at
there's
the beginning
a good balance between the two.
In the beginning of
two extremes.
Yeah, they're on the different extremes here. Like Haikyuu is like a volleyball thing. You see one volleyball match before the tryout, quote unquote, and that's great as far as like the emotion and stuff. But it's all emotion. It's all fucking teenage angst.
They're developing that story that you asked for so much.
But yeah, see, the thing is, Jaz,
there's a point where you have reached the core for it, right?
We get it. There's angst. These are the stakes. Where's the fucking action?
Right. And then it's like I see what you're saying, right? Because you're like, oh, how are you complaining about a thing?
I will get back to this, Jaz. I will get back to this because I did watch the whole season.
I feel like there's a point where you need like there's a good mixture between the two, right? These two shows are complete extremes of the other. While Haikyuu feels that like that bar of like that story, the expectation, investment that these characters have with it, right? I'm like, okay, but here's the thing. They only needed to go like to here, right? They only needed to go to here with that story and exposition and stuff, right? They reached it and they fulfilled it, but they just kept going and it's just too much and it ruins it. It's like too much, like, I don't know. It wasn't a good ratio, right? It's like making the perfect lemonade, like sugar and like lemonade mixture to a batch of it, right? They had too much mixture of lemonade in God of High School, right? It was just pure action and there was no like sweet stuff. There was no sugar. There was no plot. There was no investment, right? Now Haikyuu, on the other hand, is just too much sugar. It's just too much of that investment and there's not enough of the lemonade mix to make it a balanced lemonade, right? So that's the problem that I have, right? And then so Haikyuu is just they just have that inner monologue for each of these characters for a little bit too long, and I want to see them play the game a little bit more, and they're just doing it.
So let me cut in for you because I know Jaz is gonna blow up. Haikyuu was a super hyped show, right? Or is a super hyped show. It's a current like if somebody's gonna recommend you like a top current,
it's always been recommended for all my weeb friends.
Be Haikyuu, right? By the end of the first season, I understand the hype. Like I get it. Like it's like you don't have to fucking know volleyball. You don't really need to know that. You just need to know because they explain the basics enough to where it's like, all right, we're it. Like you get volleyball enough so that we can fucking show you the action, right? Like there's still a little bit of angst, there's still a little bit of inner monologues, but it's like here's a shit ton of games. Here's a whole fucking tournament. Here it is. Just
okay. That gives me a lot of hope. I just think that for this little arc, they overdid it. They oversaturated it.
And here's a lot of like cool, not necessarily antagonists, but like these are the other schools that are of note. And enjoy. Here, have fun. Watch volleyball. Watch the dude jump in the air and amaze everyone.
Let him be the little giant.
And spike the ball and all that. And it's good.
I'm gonna continue it, right? I'm just saying like it has its flaws, and I want to bring them to light. For some people, if they really didn't like that,
and Ashton, as me who's watched the first season, right? Just the first season, it hits its stride like a motherfucker, dude. It does figure out, oh shit, I put too much sugar in it. I need
more mixture.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Like let me get a bigger pitcher.
Let me even this ratio out.
Yeah, let me put some more lemon juice in that bitch. It does, and then they throw some ice in it, and they give it to you on a hot summer day, baby.
Ooh.
Like,
I'm ready for that. I really want it to hit that.
It's pulpy, it's ice, and it's dripping down your chin, baby. And if you don't like pulp, just fuck you.
I don't think the Kool-Aid lemonade mix has pulp.
No, dude, I'm drinking. I'm freshly squeezed lemon juice, baby. Ooh. With my hands. No, none of that bullshit. None of the juice or shit. My hands, baby. Because I'm putting muscles and love into it. All right. And that's what Highschool does. They put muscles and love into it. It's got a lot of comedy. It's got a lot of drama. It's good.
Okay.
It's very good.
Now, everybody, we're gonna go into the one that really matters. This is where the
Wait,
episode.
No. That's not the one that's gonna be 2 hours because we're going to Snafu next.
Oh my god.
We're leaving We're a Girlfriend for last because we all have things to say. But I just want to say,
be completely honest, I stopped Snafu to watch all these anime that I was that I watched for this week.
Snafu, real quick for me, I'm just seeing it out to the end. Like it's good. Like I love it. Fuck it. I'm just in it just to see how it concludes.
You've already invested 3 seasons. Might as well.
Like I watched this shit before the podcast. Like, and I was like, oh fuck, all right, I'll watch it again. Poggers.
Jaz, is there anything you like to add to Snafu?
Yeah, let's go, Jaz.
Oh, dude, Snafu's incredible. Now I know I've for the past couple of episodes I've been saying like talking about the humor of Snafu, and it's incredibly hilarious, right? But all of that kind of drops as the story progresses. Throughout season 2, it draws a little more drama for sure. They talk more about interpersonal communication, that kind of stuff. They are in ways changing his characters because they're a lot more in tune with each other, if that makes sense. Because in season 1, they were themselves, and just kind of like they had these walls up between each other, and those interactions made everything hilarious. It was all humor for season 1. I love that. It was incredibly funny, but they kind of where we are now, up to date. It's not funny. There are funny parts, but it's not a funny show. It's just a good show. Once all those barriers are broken down, you get a lot more to the essential stuff, just who they are as people, how they mesh together, and how they are trying to overcome their personal hurdles with each other, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Like we've already had spoken on it last week. We've already kind of like gone into the nitty-gritty of that. So is there anything pressing that you really want to go on? Because I do want to move on to because we've already talked pretty lengthy about
so when it comes to Snafu, right, there's not a whole lot we can say without spoiling it, because like I said, a lot of it is that interpersonal, what they do to each other. And so if I say anything specific, it's kind of a spoiler alert, you know what I mean? And so the best I can say for like an outsider is just that, it goes from that that whole like humor first season, I think, is to drive into you like who these people are. It's like a learning process, right? It doesn't oversaturate it with sugar. It's more of like it takes you 12 episodes to learn who these people are. You don't learn who they are immediately. And then from there on out, you see more of their struggles. And so that's what really makes the show after that first season, is you're now invested in these people and you get to see their problems. And
I think that's a good thing. I think that's a really good thing, because for instance, with Slime, like let's take Slime for example, right? The comedy and the interest and stuff that they brought out initially, right, was really cool and got it invested, right? But you can only carry that on for so long before it's like, okay, what are you offering me, right? And I like that you're saying that, because now it might pull me back in, because I don't have too many animes. Because I'm caught up to the ones that I really wanted to catch up with, right? The ones that like filled up my shopping cart. I've gone home, I've eaten, I've had my so now I'm gonna go back to the store, right? And I think I might pick up the Snafu again, because that really reassures me, right, that season 1, while I'm happy with the comedy and while I liked it and stuff, now had that been 3 seasons of that,
I agree.
I would have watched it.
No, see, I could have watched it, right?
There's a point though where
I could've
like
watched it, but yeah, where Ash is going,
there's a point where you need to like, okay, yeah, like I'm getting a good time out of this, but
wrap
like
it up. Let's
there's got
go.
to be a stopping point. There's got to be some substance, or there, you know what I mean, right? And then I like that they did like they went for a serious tone for season 2, and this the fact that it's like, like okay, we've got the comedy, we got the jokes, we got to learn these characters. What are we gonna do with them? Here's what we're gonna do with them.
So for Snafu, right? Like it doesn't just like pivot hard into a serious tone. You can see it like trending in this direction because there's like an arc right before the season end, the first season ends, where it's like, okay, so this stuff, like the way they're doing things, the way they're like their actions and the things they say are like affecting each other. Like as normal people, like if I said something or did something, I'm sure you guys would be like, I don't like that, right? Like let's say I was dating a girl.
We got you, dude. You don't really need an example. We got you.
Yeah. But like it was kind of vague. But for you guys understood me. But it was kind of vague, so I was gonna give an example. But regardless, like there are things that people do to us or that we do that other people will like not
pass judgment on.
They'll be like, I don't like that. And if they're like your buddy or something, like if you or Jaz, Ashten, did something, I'd be like, hey man, that wasn't really cool, man. I don't think you should have done that. And that's how it's affecting this little group. The way they're like the problem solver club, right? Supposedly. And the way some of these problems are being solved are not like the way
everyone's
alignment. Like everyone does not.
That's because they're all so different, the three of them.
Right. But like they also got some sort of like care for each other. They kind of like they have a certain interest in each other
that developed over time.
Yeah.
Right. Through all those comedy bits and whatnot.
And that's why they're like, oh man, something's got serious,
Okay, so that's you guys were the little salesman at the front of the Costco selling that random thing. I was like, I've seen this. I've had a little bit. Fine, I'll go in. Yeah, let's go. Give me the bulk pack.
Go buy the 3-season Blu-ray deluxe set that comes with the figurine.
Hell yeah!
You won't go wrong, baby. You won't go wrong. Up. All right.
Every room.
Speaking of waifus, baby.
Oh, the waifu.
All right, we're an hour and 20 minutes into this shit.
Obviously,
we're another hour.
Yeah, here goes another hour. We're gonna
here comes episode 5.5, baby. Rent a Girlfriend, episode by episode.
Listen, like you guys were really heated last week, right? And I was taking my time enjoying this, but you dropped some knowledge, right? That I was just
some
like,
knowledge.
You dropped some. You like.
I'm gonna learn you something today, boy.
Some slight spoilers, and I was just like, I didn't have plans to binge this, but the way things are looking out. Oh, I'm already on episode 10. Here we go. Right now,
1 Ruka gang, baby.
All right. I have a lot of things to say.
Right, let's go, Ruka baby.
Listen,
we haven't even met the 4th girl.
But I'm in agreement with Kenny.
I will dive in an ocean for Ruka.
Ruka is. It's fine. I'm finding it really hard not to root for her, bro. Like. Everything that Kenny has said before, we will reiterate and we will say it time and time again.
But I
will rise from the ashes.
Ruka, she literally just she like no games, right? She's in there. She knows what she wants. She does what she needs to do it. She shows it. She does a lot of showing, don't telling. She does. Like from the beginning of her character introduction to where she is currently in episode 10, right?
Runs it down mid, baby.
Ruka knows what she wants. And not only that, I feel like she genuinely is trying to make the main character better.
Yeah.
Not only that, in a weird way, because I think Chizuru is best girl, right? I don't think she should be with the MC because of that. Because not only that, but Chizuru enables the main character to be garbage.
So you know how in math,
Yeah,
Your teacher
kind of.
marks off points because you got the right answer, but you got the fucking formula all wrong, but somehow ended in the right answer. That's what Ashten just did. All right.
Oh yeah.
The correct solution that no, Chizuru shouldn't be with the main character because they're both pieces of shit.
Oh,
But
100%.
But he's like, no,
He showed his work and it was incorrect.
like he copied Jaz's homework, but he wrote some random numbers in the show your work area.
I'm telling you, dude. Like it was really weird because like when I first met, because I still like all those qualities about her like are amazing, and I think she's awesome. But like, especially the Christmas episode. You guys kept talking about the Christmas episode. I got to the Christmas episode, and I was just like,
they could have left that out. Honestly,
when I was watching that, I was sitting here thinking, I hate this MC. Like I really do. I get that you needed to make him scum because he's got to be the type of person to rent a girlfriend, but I feel like we've already reached that point. Like we get it, but they didn't need to go that low. Like this dude was literally stalking this girl.
This is a public service announcement, all right? Do not stalk anyone for any reason whatsoever. I feel like anime does this a shit ton where they like
they think it's cute and quirky or something.
They have like these stalking like dates or some shit, or like they have like one little stalker like, oh my god, I just saw her. Like if I saw someone in public, I'm gonna do one of two things. One, I'm gonna go up to them and say hi, what's up? Because I know them and we're cool like that. Or two, nah, fuck that guy. I hope they didn't see me.
I'm out.
And as simple as it is. That's as
simple as that.
If there's any other options for you,
you need to reconsider.
They're wrong. They're absolutely wrong. They are wrong. They are wrong.
They're wrong. Do not stalk anyone. Unless,
dude,
and like it's not funny in any way. Like, cause like if Ashten or Jaz were like stalking me and they took a picture of me and sent it to me on Snapchat, I'd be like kind of weirded out. Like it'd be funny because they're my boys, but I'd be like, do not do that. That's fucking weird. Don't ever do that again. I will fucking punch you.
I hate how they at the very end they try to turn it into some like endearing thing.
Yeah, fuck that.
What was that about? Like I hated that. I hated every part of that. Like they wanted to make it endearing. They're like, oh well, at first like I was doing it just I don't know, like and like it was like, but then I was in the bathroom and then I heard him like saying some really like weird and mess up kind of stuff towards you, and I felt like I got really concerned, and I was just like,
fuck that.
You only got to that conclusion because you were stalking me in the first place. That doesn't make it right because you were what? No, like it was weird. It was and the fact that like she reciprocated it with like giving him a gift on top of it, like that was just like no, dude.
Like,
even if she went out of her way and was getting this, and she perceived like this guy's really cool, the moment he did that, she should have been like, no.
I still have the receipt.
It's literally the same day you walk back to it. Oh, he already got one. And you get your money back, and you call it. There's like
you move out of the apartment.
I like this. So Kenny brought this up on the last episode, and I like what he had to say about it. Is it really like brings Chizuru down as a character because at that moment she should have been like, "Yo, you're weird. This is over." You know what I mean? Because like he really went off the wall for that episode, which honestly. I'm going to say it 100 times over. They should not have had that episode. That's one thing we got out of that episode that's good. And I say good, right? The one thing that we got out of that episode that wasn't bad is that Chizuru's an actress. We learned one thing, right? Everything else is just
the way that they could have done that.
Yeah. So for me, that episode really derails like the momentum it had. It was like downhill, fucking out of control.
No holds bar, like
it was like we're just
let's go. You're along for the ride.
Yeah, it was great. And then that episode happened, and I'm just like, oh fuck this. And then like it made me think about it. Like it made me step back, and I was like, I don't think Ruka should be going after this dude. Like I get it, it's a pure-hearted attempt, so I'm rooting for her in that aspect, but I don't think this dude deserves that. Like fuck that, dude. If I was that dude, I wouldn't deserve that.
I'm just saying, like in a weird way, right? Because let's be real here. Like there was slight growth with Chizuru and the main character, right? Like in terms of like making him a better person or like trying to help him grow, right? But that
Debate.
really kind of stopped for a while, right? It was kind of deadpan. And then like with this episode, it really just like derailed all of that. And then not only that, but like the reason, and I'm still on the train that like regardless of what that guy did, right? You should the weirdo, whatever. He shouldn't be with Jesus before that. Just that alone, right? But there are scenes right where Ruka and MC, like Ruka literally tells him, "You are hurting more people by lying. How long are you going to keep this up? Do you like? I don't want my relationship with these people to be based on a lie. I don't want to do that. You shouldn't do that. Like like all these things. Like she's straight out. Like she like no bullshit. Literally just tells him this like right out like right from the beginning. And I'm like, this is the thing that he needs to know and learn, because if he just keeps doing stuff without people telling him, right, he's gonna keep doing shit like this. And Ruka by far in this entire show is the only person who's really been consistent about telling him, yo, this is dumb, yo, you're being stupid, yo, like, so I honestly believe that even though like I don't like MC, right, and I don't like but I do like Ruka, I do think that I honestly want Ruka to get with him, because I have a feeling that like she's clearly invested, and there's no like weird like, you know what I mean, like that's her, right? Like she really wants that. But not only that, but like I feel like she can definitely make him a better person.
Yeah,
and she's like definitely shown that, right?
and
Now,
honestly,
because I like she's her so much, I don't think she shouldn't be with MC.
Yeah, obviously.
And then we're gonna also talk about why are they introducing a new girl? Why?
Because this is a waifu bait.
I know it's a waifu bait. I know it's
right? It's a waifu bait harem, and we all got fucking suckered into it.
You know what it is? At least this is just my prediction, right? The show has come to like sort of this stalemate, right? You have Mami-chan who likes it when the MC is suffering. You have Chizuru who can't get with the MC for under any other circumstances, and you have Ruka who wants to
clearly
MC,
wants him,
but can't get him because of the weird Chizuru situations. So between those three dynamics, I feel like there wasn't much that they could do to like get out of the stalemate, right? You'd have to find some weird excuse like he died and then they can get out of that situation. So what they're doing is introducing a new variable in the equation to sort of stir things up again. That's my
and now, to be fair though, things have been really good so far. We're not going to talk about Christmas episode, but I think this can be like a one season kind of thing. Like, you know what I mean? This could be like a 20 episode kind of anime, and I'd be okay with that, and I'd really enjoy it if it was that. What I don't want on my hands is something that just keeps dragging out for dumb reasons, right? Like, I want this show in a weird way to get to the point.
Look, man, we got suckered into a waifu bait harem, and we're just gonna have to hold that.
We're gonna have to hold bar because we're invested now.
We gotta hold
it in. I'm regardless of how this ends.
I completely agree with you, Ash. Like, there's no way they can have a second season. Just the way that the things are, if they were to drag this out with another lie, dude, it's like we gotta pull the plug on this. There's no way.
Like even if the producers don't pull the plug, I'm pulling the plug.
Yeah, personal investment,
like,
right? Regardless of
this show in super high regard because it has been hilarious. It has had a lot of great elements in it, but like it also has had this 2 train wreck of an episodes back to back. The Christmas episode and we haven't even mentioned New Year's episode.
Let me talk about oh my god.
I think New Year's was necessary though, because it's actually important to the dynamics, right? It's not like the Christmas episode, which they could have literally left out.
Yeah.
It is important, but I hate it.
So the New Year's episode for me, right, was really heartbreaking, especially like like rooting for Ruka, right? It's like especially when I'm rooting for Ruka because
Ruka gang, dude. New York.
It's a sad day for Ruka gang, right? But like, granted, I'm gonna be waving that red flag because she's still his best waifu, right? But like, I in terms of like the show progressing and pacing, right? I do think that Ruka should be with MC, so I'm rooting for her in that weird regard. It's weird. It's really weird, but regardless, right? So you have the New Year's episode where Ruka invites herself to the main character's family's like New Year's Day when it's supposed to be a date with
I respect this move. One, because it's consistent to who she is. She fucking ints. She fucking runs it down mid. She picks the most direct route, right? And that's it. That's the only option for her, and I respect the hell out of it.
What really bothers me,
it may not be the correct one personally, but I respect the consistency. I respect.
It's just like you look at it and you're like, hell yeah. But the thing that really just gets me, that just like makes me want to just like, right, is the fact that, okay, we get it. The MC has a crush on Chizuru, right? Like he developed it, right? Great. He developed like this weird thing, like, you know, when the beach arc, right? He thought he had feelings for Mami, right? Or Mimi, whatever. Fuck, I hate her.
Mami-chan, yeah.
Yeah. So Mami, he had this thing, and it completely just gets blown off the moment he like goes and saves her when she falls off the boat, right? And like, he starts developing like actual feelings for this girl, right? And he wants to chase that, and I respect that, right? Because he wants to. He wants to be more than this whole like, you know, side boyfriend that rents her, right? However, he literally has no reason past even before episode 10, right? I still think the MC has no reason to say no to Ruka. Because let's be real here. Chizuru has openly told him multiple times, you are nothing more than a client. You are nothing more than a client. This is just for my grandmom. Like, this is what she said it multiple times, right? Granted, that crush can still exist and him liking her, but here's this girl who literally has shown so much to like get your attention, right? And also that she genuinely cares about you. And he doesn't even give her an option. He doesn't even like see that opportunity through. He's literally just like, Chizuru, that's it, right?
Yeah.
When in actuality, she literally asked for the bare minimum from this dude. She's like, just give me a chance. Just give me like a week. Right?
Trial period.
Like, trial period, right? She calls it a trial period, right? But like he doesn't even take the initiative or the opportunity to like see that through. Granted, the one thing that's holding him back is, you know, his friend. Like he's like, oh, you know, right? But at that point, I'm like, I'm iffy about that.
Yeah.
See, that's a good reason, but
it's a good reason. But by episode 10,
talk about that at all. That's like not at all what he's using. The excuse that they keep going back to is the grandmother. It's like, oh, my grandmother loves Chizuru, so I gotta obviously pursue her.
Your grandma just is happy that you just have a girlfriend, dude. She doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, she's like, if his grandma, like from what I've been seeing so far, I'm liking her less and less. I'm liking everybody less and less. Ruka is unfortunately like also being affected by this because it's like one slider for everyone.
Yeah, and not only she's being affected by it because she's buying into it. Episode 10 really just was a tank to Ruka in a weird way because she went along with it. It's the only thing I didn't like that Ruka has done in this entire show.
There's an episode after that, right? That came out recently. Where they address the friend, right? That Ruka was rented by, which it's still weird, but we got to go with it.
So,
anyways, what was I saying?
We were talking about the friend issue, right? Yeah. So, like the only the avenue, and they didn't even express it, mind you, but still, the argument could be made that like the reason he didn't want to go for it was because, you know, he didn't want to hurt his friend's feeling, right?
So here's what I'm gonna say. Did you watch that episode where like
yes, they address it.
Yeah, they address it, and I'm just like I mean, yeah, like it's not that big of a deal, right? It's not like they were a real couple, right? And you can crush on anyone you want, but you only saw this girl once, or maybe a few more times. Who knows? But again, it was it's a very business thing. Like, I'm not gonna like it's like when you go to like a restaurant and you see a waitress getting hit on and she's very not into it. If she tells you to stop and you don't stop, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
That's what the fucking main character's doing right now with Chizuru. He's overstepped his fucking the line
He's made the attempt. She said no multiple times.
You
He
fucking
needs
move
to let
on.
it go.
You gotta move on, bro. Like, not everyone's gonna tell you yes. Ruka,
On the other hand,
it's fucking. It's like, yo, I will fucking suck your big toes if you tell me right now
we're gonna make it weird.
that you're my boyfriend, and I'm gonna be like, I don't even like feet like that, but okay.
It's see, like that's the thing though. That's the point I was getting to, right? So like the only reason like he didn't give Ruka that you could even vaguely make an argument for, right? Was like it was his friend. They address it in literally 2 episodes later, and now there's no excuse for him to explore the avenue of Ruka.
Right.
There's literally none, except for the fact that the main character is a piece of shit.
And the other thing is he's such a piece of shit that after this he goes to fucking Chizuru's place. And they're like, they have this weird fucking talk. I don't even remember it. But the only thing I got out of it was, oh, hey, we're introducing the 4th girl. So good luck with that. And so I'm like, bitch. All right. I'm not calling her a bitch. I'm just saying bitch out loud. Just
right.
Like, fuck. Like, damn. Like, we could have gotten somewhere. Now we're going into fucking waifu bait harem land. And I have a ticket, unfortunately.
I also want to bring up, right? Mind you, Chizuru at this point, but here's the thing: a huge bomb that comes out in episode 10, though, right? Is that Chizuru somehow validates the MC's interest in her, which she literally has no reason to. This dude's been a creep. The only reason you're in it for is the lie. You have a lie out. This, true to Chizuru's character, she should just be like, all right, that's it. She should just be like, all right, cool. My whole job was to get you a girlfriend. You got one that's interested in you. You should take it. And she should be out, right? We cut the lie stuff. But she, for some reason, keeps going on. And then now, at the end of the date with, like, the MC's best friend, she's like, you couldn't fall for a client, could you? And then she drops that little hint like, I don't know. And you're
maybe. Like, and I'm just like,
there's no way that you like this MC. There's no way that you can. I get that you guys have gone through trauma together, but that shouldn't make the reason that you like him. Like, because he literally has no redeeming qualities.
This is why dudes that fucking watch anime all fucking day can't get a girlfriend, because they see this shit and they're like, so
I don't have to get the hint. I don't have to get the hint. I can just keep saying. I can just keep asking the question until she says yes.
Until she just like.
So you're telling me if I stalk a girl, she'll like me?
Like it's. I hate that. I hate it. Do not do this.
People that watch this shit, I hope you're younger than me, because
God damn.
Because if you're my age and you're just listening to this for the first time, I don't know what to tell you.
Man, you've had a rough life.
Yeah. 1, relationships based on lies never work out.
No.
Never. It's not gonna fucking happen. 2, don't fucking stalk girls. Don't stalk anyone. Don't do it. If your option
not redeemable.
If you see someone, either you go up to them and say hi, or you fucking leave. You keep it fucking moving and hope they don't see you. And if they see you, they're gonna do one of 2 things. They're gonna come say hi, or they're gonna fucking keep it moving. That's it. And if they stalk you, fucking go to the police.
Bars, literal bars.
I had one more thing. 3, anime was a fucking mistake. Go outside.
I like that's just what like Kenny says, right? These from the start to like these last 2 episodes, it's been like, oh hell yeah, I'm in this, right? I'm in this roller coaster. It's that, right? But then these last 2 episodes, it just like grinding halt, and you're just like, ugh.
Look, man, I hate to do this, right? All right, but I gotta do it again.
He's gotta.
So you got baited by waifus, huh?
Yep. We got. Yep.
Thank you, Chris Evans.
Thank you, Chris Evans. Appreciate it.
I really would like to get my leg through the other hole, but
I don't know how.
I don't know
Cheesery
if I
finds this MC somehow redeemable after all the weird shit that he's done.
Yeah. So yeah, we're kind of into deep. We're too invested.
Well, yeah, I mean, it started strong, 100%. Like, that's something we can't deny is that, like, it really gets you pulled in. And since we're in this far, we can't just stop watching. You know what I mean?
We can, but
I can.
In this weird, morbid curiosity kind of way.
I've never hesitated to pull the plug, baby. It's like
your hand never left it.
I'll leave as high as possible.
I'll see the season through. Right, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna finish the season.
I think I will also finish the season though, because for most shows that I pulled the plug on early, it's not that they've never started this strong. They've started strong, or they've had like cool moments, but like this one started way too strong. I'm like,
I want to break.
This shit was like a roller coaster, right? It went really high, it came down fast as fuck, hit the fucking loops and shit, fucking twirled me off and shit. I'm like, yes, but now we're just like in this really weird like
lazy river type area.
Like we're just like kind of back, and so we're gonna see if it's like the end of the ride or if it's again.
I want to be completely honest with you guys, right?
So preach it to me.
I as much as I want to say it, right? We're seeing the signs. We're seeing the signs that this is
like
hair. We're starting like the red flags are there. We're wearing the rose-colored glasses, right? We don't see that they're red. We just see a bunch of flags, but deep in our heart, we know this is probably going to get a second season. This is probably going to get dragged out, and the sad part about it is, guess who's going to be front of the line? This dumb motherfucker. Watching all of it.
If it ends in like 13 episodes and like nothing is fucking resolved, oh baby, I'm out of here.
You're out of there, boy.
Done.
Thank you, baby.
I'm gonna keep.
In fact,
keep it going.
I think. So when we were doing my anime list setup, right? I only reviewed the ones that I liked. I didn't really hit on the ones that I disliked. And if this one ends up being like a harem or getting a second season where they just drag on too long, I'm actually going to go on my anime list and give it a bad review. Like, I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that's...
You're going to do that, huh? You're going to go on... You're going to give it a fucking 1-star because you can't give it a 0?
I'm going to confirm that I really disliked it.
These last episodes have said a lot about characters, and these characters should have some pretty clear, You're
gonna just break up with them after a month and block them everywhere. Wow.
You know what this is, right? It's like this. They set up a situation, right, where like someone does something really stupid, right? It's like you bunt and you roll it off the bat too hard and it goes straight to the pitcher. The pitcher, his normal reaction should literally just be, all right, I'm going to throw this to first. But for some weird reason, this anime is throwing it to second when there's no one there. There's no force play. It's just like, wait, what? Why didn't Chizuru, like immediately like
call the cops,
like, or get out of there, or you know what I mean? Like,
dude, what the fuck are you doing here?
I get that I need to get that you create drama, or I know that you have to keep these plot lines going, but you also have to factor in, I don't know, just general human decency and common sense, right?
This show's becoming Peter Grill.
Yeah, it really is. It really is just becoming Peter Grill in a weird way.
Also, I just remember.
Just be glad that you guys didn't watch Monster Girl Doctor like I did. For some reason, I kept watching that, man.
Also, the main
I know the reason why, but I mean, still, I went to places I didn't. Even I was like, what? No, let's not.
Look, I don't want to defend the main character, and I'm not defending him. Everything he did was wrong. When he was stalking, he had opportunities to leave and not get caught. He had opportunities to leave, but he's a fucking insecure, jealous little bitch boy. And he got caught, and he got fucking slapped on the wrist, and then given a fucking lollipop.
You know what's crazy? I'm gonna say controversial time.
Don't give me a phone case for Christmas. I don't give a fuck how cute it is. I'm throwing that bitch away. I'm never wearing it.
Nah, dude. If any cute girls want to give me phone cases,
no.
Go ahead. My address is P.O. Box.
P.O. Box.
So, no,
Damn,
think-
that one got me.
I do think though, like, I completely lost my train of thought, dude. I had something there that was tangible that I was gonna work with, but Kenny
Gone.
laughing at my joke really got me, and maybe I was like, wow, like that, I did it, I nailed it, hell yeah. Yeah, no, it's gone. It's completely gone. I don't know what I was gonna say. It's gone.
Man.
Jazz, say something funny to
Give me
make people. Oh, no, I remember what I was gonna say. Okay, cool. I'm glad it came to me. I'm glad it came back to me. All right, everyone. Yeah, I get that. Mommy is like a really like terrible
Fucking
human being. I know she's a terrible human being, but the fact that she's only really shown to be a terrible human being towards the MC, cool. I don't think she's that bad.
Like I think she's completely. I hate
it,
that she's
it,
so
I mean,
hard on him in the sense that she wants to keep fucking with him, but I do think she was right. Mommy was right.
No. Like, okay, so I don't think she was right. It's like
she left when she was like, this guy's kind of weird. I'm out.
It's like watching a bully get bullied. It doesn't justify either of them, right? But like the fact that you're watching that one bully get bullied, it's kind of like nice. You know, I don't in a weird way. I'm kind of just, you know what I mean? It's kind of it's really weird, right? So you see this MC be like a piece of shit, right? Granted, Mommy doesn't know a majority of what he's going through. She doesn't know that she's bullying a bully, right? But we as the people observing and watching, right? We know that, and it's kind of like, you know what? All right, cool.
Look, the MC deserves all the bad shit. So
he does. He definitely warrants a lot of it.
Getting like him, like I don't know how he even bagged Mommy, right? Like I know it explains it that he's like, you know, he was just like present and she was like kind of into him and stuff, and that shit kind of worked out. Look, you don't love a girl in a month. You don't. Not like that. Not to the point where this motherfucker got super depressed and shit. But whatever, it's an anime. I have to. It's a story. I have to.
Some people are like that. Some people are built like that. To be completely honest, it's not us, but yeah.
No, see, because like I'm a hopeless romantic, and if I get a girlfriend, I'm like, yo, yeah, this girl's cool as fuck. I want you guys to meet her. But then that doesn't happen because we break up like a month or two later, and I'm like, well, good thing we broke up now because you know things could have been a lot worse down the road.
Right. Now, yeah. There's a lot of mommy haters out there, right? And I'm just like, yeah, it's warranted, but at the same time, like, is it? Because if you look at the MC, it's kind of like, I don't know, he's kind of a piece of shit person to begin with. It's kind of like watching one piece of shit fight another piece of shit, and you're like,
I don't know if I was a mommy hater. I just thought like what she did was kind of like funny, right? I was like, why was she like at the pub and shit? Why is she like making moves on him? Why is she kissing him at the beach?
She's very high school. She's very high school, like drama girl. You know what I mean?
But then I was like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. This guy deserves bad shit. Like a kiss isn't that big of a deal. Like if a girl kissed me right now, I'd be like, I don't know you. Please go away.
Please go away. Who are you?
Do you have a
I'll say this though, like I'm not a fan of Mami-chan, obviously, but at the same time, she's easily a better character than Kazuya. Easily.
Yeah.
I get. She's really shallow, but let's be real here. I didn't think you can get worse than that, but the MC is really just showing his.
Also, grandma
really can just get fucking really low in there.
Yeah. Also, grandma, you gotta find someone your own age. You can't date Chizuru. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah,
dude. Started off so cool too. That's what really hurts the most. What hurts the most? And so what hurts the most is that like when they introduced her in the hospital, she was balls to the wall, dude. She was like, "Yo, do they have Wi-Fi here? My gotcha game is you know what I mean?" And it was
clans area. I need to go for this raid.
Right. like she was cool, right? And why is like the central premise of the problem, right? And I'm just like, okay.
It's these last two episodes, they're revealing so many contradictions to these characters.
If you're ever caught in a lie, here's the solution. Fucking swallow your pride and face the music. Yep. Tell the fucking truth. Just get it out there.
This is what makes it worse, though, is that Aruka's literally told him to do that.
Right.
And this is what like infuriates me, bro. Yeah. Like I'm literally upset.
Yeah. I'm fucking leaving. Bye.
All right. Well, everyone,
on that
we don't need to do a drawing. We we don't need to do a drawing this episode because we only have 2 shows remaining for this segment. We have
Oh, shit.
a typical railgun as well as Major Second for the last 2 for this little
Sweet.
simulcast section.
I want to watch those.
We'll go into those descriptions as well for the next episode. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. That way we can kind of wrap this up. We've been going on for a good while. Yeah.
You guys, this one was gonna be a long one because we had many things to say, and that's just like the Haikyuu. We didn't really talk we talked a bit about it. We talked maybe 10 minutes of it, and I was the only one that continued Slime, so there wasn't much to say.
I said I was gonna watch Slime, but I didn't watch it, and then what you had to say about it pretty much pulls me out of it. So there's that.
Okay.
Like it has good bits of comedy, but every problem that arises,
it gets solved really easily, and it's not going anywhere.
It gets solved in like 2 or 3 episodes, and I'm just like, like sure,
right.
like sure. As far as like world building, like, oh, we gained a new alliance, woohoo! And I'm just like, like if all the arcs were the same as, like, you know, meeting the dragon, saving the goblins, and like getting his human body, like if they were on that par for the rest of the season, then fuck yeah, I'm in.
All right, so I'm just letting you guys know.
It was funny. It was like a clear direction in the sense that
he's trying to make it a longer episode.
Yeah.
Well, he's. I didn't know if Ashten was like still like finding the shit.
I'm gonna let you wrap that thought up.
If it was on par with all of that, because it was funny, had good action, you know, it's a fucking slime. Like that's fucking dope. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck you guys. A slime doing all this cool shit? Yeah, I'm in. But I was in. And I'm
It
out.
wasn't Shield Hero.
All right.
So, God, how many things can be Shield Hero, man?
Fun tidbit and side story, right? So I'm already spoiler alert for Ashten. Is he going to continue a certain scientific railgun? That's going to be an immediate yes. At least episode 9, because apparently there's a beach episode. There's like a little. So I was going to like read the description, right? I'm sitting here and they have a preview of like all the episodes, right? And I'm like, you know what? 9's a beach episode. Let's go, right? No.
You know these girls are like fucking 12 in this show or some shit.
And that's the end of the podcast. I'm gonna go.
Cue the outro.
Anime was a mistake.
FBI? Yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah, I'll be there in a second. Yeah.
Hi, FBI. Shit.
Yeah. Just let me wrap the episode up before you arrest me.
This camera was not for this podcast. This was for you, FBI.
Tragic. Now that I've learned that information, I feel terrible. You know what? I'm not gonna watch this anime now.
I'm pretty sure. Okay, like I was exaggerating. I don't actually know how old they are, but I just wanted to read that to you.
Let's go ahead and read the description for a certain scientific railgun. It is Misaka's electro-manipulation abilities and delightfully destructive railgun projectile move made her a rock star in Academy City. The techno metropolis is packed with supernaturally powered students known as espers, including Mikasa's flirty friend and roommate, and the city full of superpowered gangs, mad scientists, and monsters. There's no shortage of action. So that's pretty vague. I mean, granted, it's like it has some super specific like names and whatnot, but like we just know that this girl going to academy and she's got superpowers. It's pretty much it.
It's My Hero Academy sounds like.
Yeah. And then for Major Second, this is the baseball anime. So Daigo's an elementary student whose father, Goro, is a professional baseball player. Inspired by his father, who was once a major league player, Daigo started baseball with the Mifune Dolphins, a youth team. However, he was unable to live up to the expectations of being the son of a professional, and he quit baseball after less than a year. Then, in the spring of his 6th grade year, Daigo's school welcomes a transfer student whose father is a former major league player and Goro's close friend. The fate of these 2 young men begins as they move forward. So,
I like that.
Okay.
Sounds like Haikyuu.
It's got 2 seasons.
It's a sports anime. Like almost all sports anime like have similarities like that. Like I watched Ace of Diamond. It's like, oh, like he wants to be the ace of the baseball team. He wants to be the best pitcher. But here's the other pitcher that's a fucking prodigy that throws 95 miles per hour as a 14-year-old and other bullshit. And I'm like, And what's our main character? He's a junk baller. He only knows how to throw
Knuckleballs.
variations of balls at like 85 miles an hour. Awesome.
Yeah. So those are going to be the 2 episodes that we're going to be watching for next week. I'm pretty much looking forward to. I don't have many. I don't have much experience in the sports anime genre, to be completely honest. I don't have that much. So yeah, I'm kind of forward for that. All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching this episode or listening to this episode. This has been 2Tap Anime. I'm Ashton. These are my co-hosts, Kenny and Jaz. And we'll see you next week.
Don't get baited by waifu bait harem.
Don't get baited unless you're just really into that. And
I'm just gonna watch.
If that's the case, I completely get it. All right, we'll see you next week, guys.
Bye. Cue the outro.